Okay.
Cool.
Carrying on.
Yeah, so briefly on our part one, we talked a bit about how we met, the butterfly effect of happiness and how things spread from a single idea, our schooling and everything.
Hot tea.
Yeah, hot tea, burn, and tight clothes.
You had a mare with hot tea.
The beginning of this, you could, yeah. That's the thing. It's like, you know, when you watch a TV program and you see like a person who's under a bit of stress or they're nervous, they see someone they fancy, they do something ridiculous.
Spill tea everywhere.
They spill tea everywhere. Yeah. Not saying that I fancy.
There's not even any girls in the room. Yet.
I know, but that's the thing. That's how.
I'm not going to give you tea if we have female guests. I'm not. You're not going to have tea.
You
I'm going to take that away from you.
No, you don't get any liquids.
You're going to get a sippy cup.
That'll make me look manly.
A teat.
Why is it made of plastic so he can't knock it over? He's a bit of a klutz.
I might make that a thing. Here is your co-host guest. Your co-host gift. You're going to get a sippy cup.
As long as it's just got Big Al on
no spill cup.
No, good. No, that's good. I'm glad we've set a precedent there.
So I want to talk about some of the stuff that we are going to talk about with people who come and join us.
Yes.
So guest-wise, because I'm sure we'll tell many embarrassing stories about ourselves and get into all those things. But what we're really going to kind of take off with is getting that information out of whoever comes to join us.
Yeah.
So I think we should take a leading role and share the answers to those questions ourselves.
Good. Good.
Cleanly.
Okay.
So that...
we don't have edit software that bleeps out things, so we've just got to bleep ourselves.
Yeah.
I had a really beeping hard day.
No, we can put some kind of like quack
Yeah.
or something over the top of...
Quack.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Quackcast.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so...
Well, talking about something embarrassing, it just suddenly clocked in my mind. You know, when I was saying you do something when you're excited, and this thing is quite exciting.
Yeah.
And now we're into it. It's a bit warmer. It's a bit nicer. But I, spilt tea everywhere. The Teagate incident.
So let's just clarify that in episode 1.
Yes.
Part 1.
Part 1. First
in
ever
the
one.
first 5 minutes.
I forgot how to use my face for drinking liquid. I just went,
You genuinely threw tea
at my mouth and hoped something would go in. Hot tea as well.
drinking. I do this all the time. I will leave a cup of tea for 45 minutes and then drink it.
Yeah.
This is genuinely cold tea.
But it's quite nice though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, don't mind.
I think it's got to have a little bit of sugar though if you're doing it like that. If it's
yeah.
cold black tea or cold just with milk, I think that's...
What kind of sane human drinks cold black tea?
My dad
That
does.
sounds dark. Yeah. That sounds like...
Are you a serial killer?
He's going through some things that you need to talk
like
to him
nice
about.
things
Do you
in
need
your
a moment?
Just black tea.
Or a biscuit?
You weren't hugged enough as a child, were you? No, that's
He's
not...
a troubled man. You must be a terrible son. I hate my life.
Just existence. Just something that's bland.
Do you want milk?
Reminds me I'm alive.
Does he swallow the bag too?
Pelican.
Maybe one day this will kill me.
Oh dear.
Oh, that is funny.
But talking about the embarrassing thing.
Yes.
I remember I had a crush when I was...
Do I know about this already?
No.
Oh,
So
this is fabulous.
This is something that I so basically we play a game actually. Before I talk about this, we play a game at training, which is 2 Truths and a Lie, and I think that would be a really cool little game to maybe play here.
Yes, that's it. We should do that. Thank you, Alex Robinson, for that fabulous idea.
So we did 2 Truths and a Lie, and I suddenly went, I tell all of my stories to absolutely everyone all the time because that's all I am. I've got nothing of interest. I'm not really that fast at running, but I'm good at maybe telling an amusing lyrical story. Yeah. So I was like, how am I going to do this? But anyway, so that's why I thought I'd quickly pop that in, because 2 Truths and a Lie, maybe we can do that when we're,
That's not a bad shout.
getting pissed or something, or with the marshmallows, or I don't know. We can find something amusing or a little twist in the game. But the first thing I talked to you about is when, embarrassing moments with a girl. And I think I'm going to pose this question to you afterwards. Have you ever done something that's made you really, like you've done something classically movie, which I've done? So it was in primary school.
Right.
I was in primary school, and I won't name her name. But her name was, for argument's sake, let's call her
Doreen.
Doreen. Okay. I was 7 and she was 80. Doreen.
But you loved her,
So
and
I
that
loved
is
her.
what matters.
So Doreen, I saw her in the local. I saw Doreen, who I'd slowly started to feel a crush for. Beautiful blonde hair, really lovely, really kind. We went and did like extra things after school. We did art and together, and my little brain, I was like, oh, I'm really fascinated with Doreen, and I saw her at my local cooperative at the top of the road. And I was there with my dad, and I was running around, and I saw her, and just everything stopped, and it froze. And I was like, oh, God. And she turned around, and she's like, oh, hi, Alex. And I was like, hi, Doreen. And I was like, oh. And she came over. She started walking over, and I was like, oh, we had a chat and all this. I was like, oh, good. And we were next to the milk section, and I went, oh, okay, cool. Well, I need to go and get this milk for my dad. And I turned around and smacked my head into the big, like, glass cabinet with all the milk in. Milk tipped over, and I went, trying to grab milk. To which my dad had seen all of this and just laughed. He just went, because he knew. He was like, you like her, you're young, you've done something ridiculous.
This is embarrassing.
This is something that should be in a film. Ha! And I came over, I was like, I've got the milk, Dad. And he just went, well done.
Yeah.
Well done, son.
How did that go with Doreen?
She didn't know who I am anymore.
Oh.
No, I was young. I never really pursued it, and then we went to secondary school, and it was split schools. So we never went to. They went to an all-girls school. We went to an all-boys school.
We did.
I never really stayed in contact, and
So where is she now?
I'm not sure. I tried to reach out.
Doreen, if you're
I mean, that's not your name, Doreen, but
no, but you know who you are.
You know who
if
you
you're
are.
there, and you know.
You might have worked it out from the
Maybe.
fact that we did art sessions together.
And how many
after
people
school
did you throw milk all over?
Not many.
Yeah, so
I didn't throw it over her. It was over myself.
Yeah, but okay. How many people did you cover yourself in milk?
She might not even remember. That's the thing as well. She'd probably like, I don't know.
It's weird, isn't it? How little things stick in your... Because now that you've mentioned this, that I'm obviously trying to think back to something embarrassing that I've done, and there are many, I think, that I can think of.
No.
Yeah,
You're so cool.
Well,
All the time.
well,
I'm only human. I make some mistakes.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hannah Montana.
Like quoting Hannah Montana on a podcast.
I aggressively kicked the girl that I fancied in junior school hard.
Did you mean to?
Yes.
Was that one of those things of like, I like you and I'm going to pull your pigtails?
Yes, but she was doing it first. So I remember this. So we were playing football like with all the boys and like from our year kind of, and it was a very small school as well. So there wasn't huge amounts of places to go in lunch breaks and things. So so we, oh, this is terrible. I wonder if she remembers it. Actually, I might because it's just popped into my head. I think I was probably like 8 or 9, maybe a little older. And we're all playing football together, and she's, and I remember she came like and sort of tapped me in it. Like she wasn't part of the game, obviously, because it's a man's game. But she's sort of come over and like sort of tapped me in the shin a couple of times, and she did it one too many times. So
you decked her,
and I think we were probably
stoved her head in.
Yeah, we were probably losing the game at the time as well. And I've swung round and I've, it was a significant contact, and I've kicked her pretty hard in the shin. Oh, just sort of really.
That's nasty.
She cried. Yeah, there were tears and teachers involved and things. Yeah,
things are kicking the shin is a nasty.
This is fantastic. Now you mentioned this, yeah, like so I'll come back to this, but it's amazing how your brain works as a child. So similar situation, we're still playing football, and the roof of our school used to have a little dip on the edge, so our football would roll onto the roof, and then 9 times out of 10 it would roll back down and it would come off. Well, this one time it got stuck in the little dip on the on the roof. So my 10-year-old brain. Obviously trying to find a solution so we can continue this really serious game of football. Yeah. Threw a brick at it. This is 100% true, right?
Was it a glass roof?
No, forget the roof. It's the windows below.
Because you're 10.
I'm 10
You've got
years
no
old.
upper body strength.
No.
Hey,
Yeah,
no, you don't.
Let me throw this whole brick at the
Hold
roof
on.
of our school.
Why were there loose bricks in the playground of a school? Who's gone, we're just doing some construction things. Dave, we're just going to build this wall. Should we leave these loose bricks here? It's fine. I think there's children who play near here. It'll be all right. Just leave the bricks. Leave the power tools as well. There's a loose saw here. That's fine. Kids running around with like drills.
Because, you know, sometimes as kids you have to settle matters.
What?
Between each other.
With
so
bricks.
You need bricks. Right. Anyway, so there's a brick.
Why was there a brick?
I don't know. I'm thinking about it now. It's a valid point. Right. So I've picked up this brick, you know, and everybody's watching. I'm going to be the hero right now. So, you know, the kids are around, like, and everyone who wants to continue the game of football and all the fans that are watching this game of football and the girls and everything, they're like, and I'm like...
The fans. You've made it...
I'm like, I've got this.
Yeah.
Right. I kid you not, this brick made it about an inch above the window, to which my teacher was sitting in the classroom of. Luckily, the window didn't shatter, but I did throw a brick at it. So picture it from the teacher's point of view. She's sort of seen me outside the window with a menacing look on my face and a brick in my hand.
Determined look.
Yeah. And I've, you know, stepped into it and everything, and I've held this brick. And it's just sort of...
I love the idea.
Bounced off the window.
The vibrations has made the ball come back down. And then the teacher's come to you and has gone, Alex, what? And you go, oh, the ball's stuck. There's no ball up there. Yeah. And you've played this character.
Lunatic.
You played this character of, I'm gonna get this thing. And she's... There should be no bricks in school.
I went to school alone after that for a long time. But I went to the head teacher's room.
I'm not surprised you threw a brick at a window. Of course you did.
Well, that's how it looked, but it wasn't. It wasn't.
That's how it was.
It wasn't that way. But that's weird that just popped into my head. But junior school was a fun time. There's so little matters. In junior school,
you just run around.
Banging into things and, you know, throwing people in bushes and, you know, just having a good time.
It was great fun, wasn't it?
Well, yeah.
There's moments where I think, you know... Actually, there's moments where I think it would be quite cool to go back to secondary school, knowing how I know life and things now. I think I'd probably learn more. I think I'd enjoy certain things more.
I don't think I'd learn any more at all. I think I would just think...
I think I might apply myself to certain things.
I don't. I because it's...
Thanks for my point.
Because...
Never do improvisation. You're what's called a blocker. Oh, I saw you at the park the other day. No, you didn't. With the dog? Don't have a dog. God.
You've ruined this.
Thank you. I guess we'll go now.
What I mean is, like, because of how I think, and okay, maybe some of it is important in the things that you learn and stuff, but I think because of how there's such a minor kind of perspective when you're at school as to what happens outside of it.
Yeah.
I think if you went back now, knowing that my life is the way that it is largely without, you know, education.
What if I could say to you, we could all go back to school together, as we are now?
With the knowledge we have.
With the knowledge that we've got, but with our own attitudes, and we don't have to, like, abide by the rules as harshly and all this sort of thing.
But how, with the knowledge you have now, how would you go and sit in a science class and apply yourself to that for 2 hours? How would you, like, I would have zero interest in that because I know that when I leave school...
I'd have to be able to choose the subjects. I'd have to say, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I don't need to know physics and, you know, the depth and weight and everything and distribution.
But that's when I think you get people who come back and they've got so much more knowledge. I mean, there's a friend of mine who's now, you know... would have been one of the bottom streams for a lot of the things that we were in, and he's now doing, you know, like physics and engineering and stuff. He wants to put satellites into space. Very intelligent, and he's, you know, I think if we all went back, he'd probably go into the science room, and I think I'd definitely go back into the art room and do a bit
for sure, and but even with, I think it's just...
I just like the idea that I don't have to pay tax or anything. just be able to sit there and just go...
Just learn.
Don't have to worry.
I get it, but and it's difficult to kind of, like, because you've got so many kids and everybody's different and everyone wants to go down a different path. And, like, at the age of 12 to 16, the majority of us don't know what we want to do with life, you know. But, you know, using art as an example, I loved art. I love to draw. I love to sit in front of things and draw landscapes and draw people and all that kind of thing. But I couldn't paint to save my goddamn life. You give me a paintbrush and I turned into Stephen Hawking. I had no idea. I was terrible, and I failed art because, like, in year 12, like, I passed it at GCSE, but I failed art in year 12 because with a paintbrush, I was
terrible.
Yeah, I mean,
you were painting is what
sight is to Stevie Wonder.
That's the funniest thing you've ever said.
My paintings would have been... I reckon Stevie Wonder could have given me a run for my money with a paintbrush because I had no idea.
Yeah,
give me a pencil. Yeah, you know, no problem. But if you want me to use colours and paintbrushes and things.
What do you think about the modern art? What do you think the modernist art? The stuff where you go to the Tate Modern and you see 4 pipe cleaners on the floor, and they go, wow.
People are taking pictures of it and stuff.
Yeah, and they're like, wow, this is so totally about the economy of 2012 and the
or that
card.
really weird room where you go in and there's like wrapped up penises and things.
Yeah, and there's a dude like just loads of rubbish on the floor.
Yeah, and they just cut someone.
Penises on them.
Yeah, like there's a room, I'm sure it's at the Tate Modern, along the Thames Bank, where you go in and
it might be in London, mate.
No, there's like a...
I don't think it's in the Tate.
No, there's like a bandages room. I swear, on my life, there's a room where you go in, and there's like wrapped up bodies and things, like live people. But it's like, is it expressionist? I've got no idea.
I think it's postmodern, or there's a modernist. There's a term.
It'll be like a scar or a cut or a face, and they'll wrap it in bandages and take a picture of it and then class it as
art. That's interesting, isn't it? It's the topic of what is classed as art. What do you...
My face.
Without being vain.
Sorry.
That's, to be fair though, that could be classed as, art is, something there. One person explained it quite well, is that they believe that art should be something that requires a certain element of skill and time. So skill plus time equals art. Potentially. But then you could say anything.
Good way of putting it.
That's one way of putting it, because I think there's something to say for me just going... art. There's something
that took you some time.
Yeah, but not much skill.
Not much skill. So but then that makes sense that you need to acquire. You can spend a lot of time on something and it be absolutely appalling because you have no skill in that area.
Yeah, and that's not art.
Like me with a paintbrush, for example.
You with a pencil though, different ball game.
Yes.
Different ball game. I want to see some of your art.
I used to draw people. Like I did a drawing of Mila Kunis probably 10 years ago.
Really?
Now. I was obsessed with Mila Kunis a while back. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
And I did a pencil drawing of her face, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like for a 15, 16-year-old kid, it's pretty. And my sister is even better at... My dad's good at art. My sister's even better at art, and I was good-ish with a pencil.
See, I'm quite similar to you. Painting, I was never got on board.
I just couldn't...
I like to draw, and I think I feel like you have more control over the tones
because,
and the shades.
and some, like, props to people who are, unbelievable with paintbrushes, but I just, the weight of paint and, you're trying to get, like, block colour and or trying to get different variants of colour, all that kind of... Anyway, we're going off topic, but education-wise, would I go back and do it again? Probably not.
No.
Would I go back and apply myself correctly to the subjects that we were learning?
Probably not.
No, I wouldn't. No, which is, I don't know if that's the right thing to say, because a lot of people are like, oh, if I could go back and do school again, I'd work so much harder.
I think in certain topics I would. I think in other topics I'd work less.
But the topics need to be applicable to the direction of your life. So I believe that if you're going to go to university, that you should come out of school, gain life experience first, and then decide what you want to do at uni. Because if you just go straight to uni and you do a subject that is not going to benefit your life, or something you're not going to use down the stretch, or whatever it might be, then it's not been worth it.
I think there's a big thing going around that when I went to college, because I didn't go to sixth form, I went to college and I did a BTEC in acting, which is weird, going from nothing but classroom and written work into an environment where I could just act for 3 days a week, 4 days a week, and enjoy myself and really apply myself there. I got really good grades there. It's mad actually, because I got the same amount of UCAS points as someone who got A stars in my A level, which is mad. I did do a lot of work, so I suppose there is an element for that, but they were determined from college, and you probably got a bit from sixth form, of moving you on to university. There was a real big thing about getting them on to the next level, and I think I worked out why. It's because the school gets an accolade, or that they can say, we put a so-and-so to whatever. From our perspective anyway, we got a so-and-so to RADA, we got someone to Guildhall, we got someone to these big drama schools, we got them at a big university. That's quite a big accolade, whereas I think it's so important to remember you can go at any time. You can take a year out, you can take 2 years out.
I could go now if I wanted to, but I don't.
I don't think I'd want to. Well, this is the thing. Part of me is thinking, do I go to maybe film school or something?
Yeah. I mean, it's like the main thing with it is it's never too late.
No.
My mum didn't even start learning to become a teacher until she was at least 30.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
She did banking, and then started a teaching degree. And she loves what she does now, besides all the kind of marking when she has to come home and take care of all that. But she enjoys what she does, and she decided that's what she wanted to do, and she never found that out until she was a lot older.
Yeah.
And sometimes that happens. You can literally jump from, and I am a firm believer in, if you don't enjoy what you're doing,
move on,
and it genuinely makes you sad, then change it. And it's never too late to do that. Even if it's, and people say, oh, I'm tied into a mortgage, I'm tied into this, I'm tied into that. You can still change path. Like, it's not impossible.
No.
It's advisable to do it at a younger age and try different things. But
anything worth having isn't not difficult.
I've always said my entire life, I'm never going to be a city boy. I'm never going to work in the city. I start on Monday, But like from the age of like 16,
I bet you're quite excited though.
I cannot wait.
Yeah.
From the age of like 16 to 24, I was like, I can't work. I'm not going to be one of those people who works in the city. But then you develop and you build a career and you decide that, you want to get better at what you do and you want to try something new and you want to be more sociable and whatever. And then all of a sudden working in the city looks like the best thing since sliced bread. And your life changes. I learned a very important lesson from a lady who I'm very fond of that who I've just finished working with.
Yeah.
Jan, bless her, and I sent her a very nice email when I left the business as well, just to say, thank you, because I do firmly believe that there are people that you meet in life that will give you snippets of, teachings and learnings, and, they help you develop. And not everybody is there in your life to do that, but I felt I learned something from her, and she went through a terrible time, and her daughter was in a very nasty accident and is doing fine now, but it was a really traumatic time for her. And I just admired her as a person. And she said to me, because of my belief in the lack of feet on the moon, and the fact that didn't happen, in my opinion, she very cleverly, on my last day, she gave me a gift, which I opened up, and it was the biography of Neil Armstrong.
Nice.
Right. And she said to me, just as a life lesson, to remember that not everything is black and white.
Yeah.
And I said to her, and she gave me this, and she went back to her desk, and I sat and I was, thinking about it, and then I went back to her and I said, can you write that in the front of this book, please? Because I want to be able to open that in 10 years' time and realize, because like I do it as like I'm not as stubborn as I seem about the fact that I don't think anybody's landed on the moon, but it's kind of like a thing that I have now where it's like, I just don't believe it.
Yeah.
But I said to her, I'm going to read that now because I find it very interesting that, because I think it's idiotic to believe that you're the smartest person in the room.